All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another day of the Agile Scrum. Before we get started, let me quickly ask if anyone here for the first time. It's your day one, you are attending for the first time. All right, I'll take this silence as no, and let's get started. So before we begin, you know that we need to quickly run through the reminder. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll be sharing some code of honor. That is the quick context, the quick guidelines that in this 8 weeks of journey, total 8 weeks as in 2 months of journey, how we are going to remain connected, how we are going to going to get this upcoming session digested. We will be working on to that, and a request to you all that consider this training program itself as a project, so that you will take it seriously and you will be working on it on every single thing that will be asked to you as an assignment as well. You will be working on each and every assignment. So let me share my screen. Do confirm if you all can see my screen, everyone. Can all of you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for your confirmation. So I'm talking about guidelines, the code of honor. So the very first one, what we need to remember as we are learning Agile BS Scrum. So Agile is full of ceremonies. Ceremony means what, everyone? What is your idea of ceremonies? Meetings. That's absolutely all right. Agile is full of ceremonies, and that demands you as a future Scrum Master, future business analyst, and future product owner to be on time. So kindly show up live in every single session. Remain on time, remain punctual, and remain highly committed. Why? Once you will practice it over here, it is quite easy for you to practice it once you get place. And there is another universal law associated with this that says that how you do anything is how you do everything. So that's the reason you need to remember the first one. The second one says that because you are in this journey, many one of you come from the various background, many of you are having the vast experiences, and everyone chose to be the part of this session. So that automatically makes you student, but we generally request you not to be the student, but be the full stack student, means the one who does all the assignments, do self-research and repeat what they learn. That makes them full stack student. So kindly be the one. And third one, take the full responsibility while you do all above and finish what you start. Automatically leads you to the success. Quite easy to take the full charge of it and responsibility of it. But if you don't hit success, of course you are struggling, may hit failure, but I would suggest also take the responsibility of failure as well. Why? Because when you take the responsibility of it, there are chances you may go and correct it, and when you may correct it, then you will realize that it will become the trail for the success. So then you realize failure is not failure, it becomes the trail for the success. So take the full responsibility of be it success or failure. And to do so, it really requires a concrete mindset that starts with making yourself a learner, become a lifelong learner, inculcate and habit of learning all the time. Continuous improvement should be your ideal, your goal. So, and more you become the learner, you will find yourself going more positive minded. More positive minded you will become, you will find yourself going more complaint free. More complaint free you will become, you will get loaded with more gratitude that leads to the happiness. That's very important. Why? I'll talk about it in a while. But to inculcate such habit, you need to start your day with the increased level of receptivity. And for that very reason, I have been talking about all of you to enroll to 30 days audio listening challenge. Every single morning you will start with this audio. You will be completely amazed to see within 30 days how every single area of your life is going to get impacted positively. And that's well, that will happen once you will start listening to this audio. You can, this is not a compulsion, this is just a recommendation. My many of the students are following and they have been seeing the results. So I want you all also to see that positive result. And for that, this audio program link, you can definitely ask me after the session. I'll be happy to share with you all. You need to just DM me and you will get it. That's the first one. Second one, because we are taking a deep dive towards the some technical learning. So I generally request you to follow the golden quadrant of learning that comes with 4 steps. The very first one says that declare with the anchor and then take a deep dive into deep learning, and then draw whatever you have learned using pen and paper after 24 hours. And once you are done with the third step, then go back and summarize it in a way that even 5 years old can understand, and targeting in less than 90 seconds of video, and share back into WhatsApp group. And you yourself will be amazed to see your own self-evaluation, your own self evolution, that may sometime and may have and in fact in past it has made many just like as a novice to an expert. So if you are already, that will be quite easy for you. If not, so I will invite all of you to participate in this entire 4 step. Let's get started with the first step, that is declaration with the anchor. So what we are going to declare? So the selected segment we are going to declare after me. How we will do that? We will put it we will put an anchor before that. What will be the anchor? Anchor is going to be the self hi-fi that just now you have heard, that is the clap. So what I'll do, I'll count 1, 2, 3 and clap, then you clap. And then I'll repeat what is selected on the screen, the statement. Can you all see the selection, everyone, on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's get started. All of you, everyone has to get involved. Unmute yourself and let's get started. 1, 2, 3 and clap and repeat. I am a quick learner.
I am
I'm a quick learner.
What others can learn and master,
What
what
others
others
can
can
learn
learn
and
and
master,
I too can do that.
I
I
too can do.
One more time, kindly model me. 1, 2, 3 and clap and repeat. Because I am an awesome learner.
Because I'm an
I'm
awesome
an
learner,
learner.
Today's learning is going to be
today's learning is going to be
super duper easy to me.
super easy.
Super
Easy to me.
Yes, it is going to be, if you have said so. In case you could not model what I asked you to do so, then for those who could not do that, I want you to, all of you, in fact, to be the giver. Be the giver, because many of you might be feeling awkward while doing so. And many of you will be finding that, okay, so I know very much, I have learned so many things in my career, so I don't need to, learn few things, simple things are sometimes stupid, may sound stupid, but not exactly stupid, but intelligent. So for such thoughts, I want you to be the giver. Giver means what? Keeping ego away on the path of learning, that makes you more spiritually grounded on the path of growth. More spiritually grounded means your happiness level increases. It means that happiness leads to the productivity, and that is the most demanding thing in the corporate today. So keeping ego away on the path of learning is going to help. So remember that. And second, the whole idea is that once you get placed, you just don't want to get placed, but also for the in the return of placing and working for others, you really want to make some money and you want to grow in making money. And it is said that what you want more of something, you should start giving away a portion of it. So if you are already earning, start giving away 5% or 10% of it 10% of it into the charity, donate it, or wherever you believe in whatever causes, like feeding hungry children, donating into orphanage or old age home, or donating into the churches, mosque, temple, gurudwara, wherever you believe in, at least 5 to 10%. Why? Because when you give, you grow. When you receive, you may survive. And just don't give away for the sake of the growth, but also to inspire others in your surrounding. And while you do so, you will be completely amazed how it is giving back you in a very surprised manner. That will be quite a value addition for you as well. And while you do so, would request you to appreciate what you do, what others do for you, and even what it does not may sound that it is helping you to grow further, continue to do so, because what you appreciate, it appreciates you back. That's the another universal law. In case you are not already earning, have at least an intention to charity, intention to give back to the society. So that's the sixth code of honor, and everything is linked to other. And days how we are going to get connected every single Sunday, like today, we are going to meet at 10 p.m. Monday, we are going to meet again for 10 p.m. for the technical session. Tuesday is going to be very, very mandatory that you are going to attend the RRRP session. That is quite important every single time. It may sound repetitive, but still you need to attend it. Wednesday, you can complete the assignment, be it said or unsaid. Unsaid or like summary you are posting will be always part of the unsaid assignment. Some activity I'll be asking you to do, that will become the part of said assignment. And Thursday, you will be doing the, you will be again repeating and attending the RRP session. That enhances your visibility, thereby credibility, and improves your marketability by RRP team. Friday, you complete the assignment for the session that you have learned on Monday. And Saturday, you can choose to relax, have breather day, or do the research work if you want to, or repeat whatever you have learned on, come prepare with the question that you want to ask on next technical session, that is on Sunday. So this is how we are going to get remain connected and follow these guidelines. So do we all agree with this? This is the guideline, and this is the day structure. Are we good? Are we all good with this? Very, very clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so
Yes,
much
sir.
for your
Yes,
confirmation.
sir.
So if that's the case, you all remember last time we completely, touch base the point, which point? What all the ceremonies we needed to learn. Okay. So do you all remember we were talking about all the ceremonies?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you so much.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Mhm.
So, sir, last week we were somebody asked the question about product manager, then project manager, and one more. So that differentiate, we didn't do that. If possible,
Okay.
can you?
Okay, no problem. So first of all, you understand the style of deliveries are too different. Okay. I'll be good. You asked me, so I'll be talking more on that. I should be bringing some presentation related to it, where roles and responsibility division I'll be talking. But for now, you understand. So there is no concept of project manager when the delivery style is agile. Okay. Agile and safe does not demand any project manager. Okay. However, when the delivery style is non-agile means simple waterfall methods, or different delivery approach, or software methodology we are using other than agile, there the involvement of project manager will be there. For now, is it clear? Project, when in what kind of project you will find project managers?
Yes.
If it is
The
non-agile,
waterfall.
if it is
Non-agile.
non-agile methodology, you will find the existence of project manager. When it is only agile, there you will find product owners. Okay. So product owners will with the small team, say for example, a small component is there, or small development is going on there. There you will find product owners, where multiple projects are working, small products are working together in parallel, two or three, where multiple product owners are also there. There you will also find the concept of product manager. Okay, so product owner and product manager. More of such slides oriented differences I'll be bringing tomorrow. So I wasn't not remembering. So it will be better if you can again remind me after the session tomorrow. That will be very, very good. But for now, understand, non-agile methodology, project manager will be there. Agile methodology, product owner will be there, and product manager concept will be there. Good? Yes?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
awesome. Okay, Dhruvi, you have any question?
Yes, sir. So non-agile methodology means it would be a waterfall model.
Yeah, it will be waterfall model. But when you will go towards the safe side, safe is a kind of, good way of, blending waterfall and agile together. Okay, where it does not directly recommend any type of waterfall, but somehow it also follow indirectly some principle from the waterfall. Okay, so safe
Okay.
sometime also cater some principles from waterfall, and it brings some trait of the project manager. But when it has no touch of agile, no touch of safe and scrum, and it is completely towards waterfall, definitely project managers will be there. Yeah.
So it's called a safe model, right? The name is called safe model.
Yeah, safe model or safe methodology. You say safe is what? It's a scaled agile framework for enterprises.
Okay.
Majorly. Yeah. All right. So good. So let's get started. And thank you so much again for asking this, Rachna. Rachna asked, right? The question.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
awesome. So I'll bring. So I definitely, it was evaporated from my mind. I did not remember that it was there. So good, but good for remembering. So let's get started. So do you all remember what was the first ceremony we discussed last time?
Sprint planning.
Wow, great. Thank you so much for remembering that. Let's get started with the Scrum planning. So I'll bring some slide in front of you. How does it look like? So when we are talking about sprint planning or Scrum planning, you need to remember the whole idea behind that is to, prioritize the backlog. Okay. So the output you will get when you will start prioritizing the product backlog, you will start working on who will do it. Okay. What they will work. Okay. If before that any delivery had already happened, so the what was the past increment, means past model was delivered, how long your this product backlog, remaining product backlog which you are prioritizing, how much time we have to finish it, how many resources will be work on it. This concept towards somewhat estimation will be called as velocity and capacity of every individual, velocity of the velocity of your delivery. We will have a dedicated 20 minutes of video where I have talked upon velocity and capacity that I'll be sharing with you all. So just remind me after the session. I'll be sharing that with you, and that will become the part of input in the sprint planning meeting, where you will be knowing your capacity, your velocity, your availability of your resources, and you will get to choose who will work on what and how you will be working. And at the end, you will have the very clear-cut sprint goal, and at the end what you are going to get. So that clarity will be there. So what happens when we are talking about product backlog and sprint goal? Remember, everything will be visible in sometime project management system. And when project management system, because product backlog by now you are knowing, so large requirement, broken down into the smaller pieces, and when it is broken down, so in the project management system, everything will be referred to as incident, or it will appear in a form of ticket on Kanban board, where visibility will be like what you see here, the column wise. You will have the things which are to do, you will have the things which are in progress, and you will be having the things which are ready to test, and you will be having the another column where everything is done and will be moving into the done. So such 4 columns will be available on a board, and that board could be the physical board, or it can be presented on a project management system or tool, to which we call it. The few names are like Jira or Azure DevOps or something like that. So there you will be easily able to find. So there, these incident, either it will be called as incident, it will be called as candidates, or it will be called as ticket. When things will be calling as a ticket, and on the Kanban board, everything will appear as a ticket. So, and the entire Scrum framework in the part of sprint. So here you see the product backlog appears in a, consider it as a sticky note. So all the square you see is a sticky note, is a kind of a requirement, smaller requirement. When it gets to be the part of sprint planning meeting, and become the shape of a sprint backlog, you still see that it is appearing. The few of them are appearing as a tickets, and they follow certain planning and implementation. In implementation, you do the daily scrum happens, everyone will be developing and working upon it, and once everything is ready, you will invite to whom. Once you're done with all the activity, now you need to showcase what you have done. So to whom you will invite next? Stakeholders and customers. Okay, so mostly towards the customer, where customer have a look at it, that how you have developed, whether it is aligning with their requirement or not. The moment they will give it a go, then you are ready to deliver it. Completed features, you will just deliver it. All done, all the done part you will be delivering. And once done, then you the moment you deploy it, and before you start the next sprint planning meeting, for the next sprint, you will also hold a sprint retrospective meeting, where you reflect upon that what you have done well. So sprint, as I say, sprint is always a time duration, it's a time box. So time duration, when it is a compartmentalized, that in this many days we need to finish few things. So we need to know. So let's understand what is sprint in the Scrum. So I want someone to read the first and second bullet point for me, please.
Time box iteration of a development cycle, broken project into small and consistent time interval.
Yeah. So it's called, this time box is called also iteration. So time box iteration of development cycle. So when you are finishing the first first deployment is done, first delivery is done, it always happens in the cycle. So these cycles are called as an iteration development cycle, and this larger project will be always converted into the fixed time interval. And fixed time interval, what will be the time interval, for how many time duration it will get repeated every iteration. So that will be pre-known and will be announced by product owner well in advance, that what all the time interval you will be getting to have the delivery, or getting to have a sprint delivery, you may call it. I want someone to read the third and fourth one, please, for me.
As short as few days and as long as 4 weeks can call a sprint goal a project in itself due to start and finish record it gives.
Thank you so much for reading this out. So as I said, when we are talking about development cycle, when we are talking about the every iteration time interval. So time interval, the dates are pre-known, and in every sprint, because all the complex topic, all the complex features you are delivering, you're testing, and you're deploying. So that makes means based on the complexity, the entire sprint itself has a project. Okay, tiny project. So I will let you experience such project as well. So so that sprint, when you decide, so in a that when you decide, so how long that every sprint should be. So moderate is 2 weeks. Okay, you will get to see when we are talking about 2 weeks. I mean, very small project is there, then 2 weeks of interval you will be working. 2 weeks means 10 days. But minimum what it can be. So when we are talking about minimum, it can be of 1 day, minimust. Okay, but in a very very rare time you will find such kind of a sprint where 1 day of a delivery point will be there. However, always you won't find it ever. So but when it comes to how lowest it can be, so yes, you can remember from 1 day. But yeah, from any time it is 1 week to 4 week. 4 week is the maximum. It cannot go beyond 4 weeks. Okay, so just give me a second, everyone. Yeah. So 4 weeks, it's kind of for very complex project, it will be 4 weeks. And 4 weeks, when we are talking about how many working days it can become, everyone?
20 days.
20 days. That's absolutely right. When we are talking about 20 days, in hours, how many hours it will be?
160.
160.
Absolutely brilliant. So every single day, 8 hours, eight working hours, and it will become 160 hours, billable hours. So that you need to remember. So 1 week minimum, maximum 4 weeks, and but moderate is 2 weeks. So sometime you will also find if very, very complex projects are there, in a, like you're working in an enterprise, and there you will find 4 weeks of projects are there. So every month's delivery is happening, not every single month. So there what happens in such things, multiple delivery style get mixed it up. So when we are talking about multiple development cycle, how it may look like, it may look like something like this. Okay, say for example, for 4 sprint they are working. Sprint duration may be anything, where start time is known, where end time is known, and the length is very, very fixed. For 2 weeks you are working, and you follow everything starting from the planning, implementation, review, and retrospective. Okay, and daily scrum will happen in every single sprint. This will be repeated, and it will be called as a iteration. Okay, I want someone to read this first 2 bullet point for me. Anyone? And I want everyone to start participating.
Why fixed length and time boxed sprint? To balance between the need to release rapidly, allowing enough time to complete a usual amount of work in each sprint.
Okay. So yes, in every sprint, we are allowing you to complete some task which has been owned by team, and it is always giving you the force to rapid delivery. Like 2 weeks, you are always connecting back with your party, connecting back with forcefully, mandatorily. You are connecting back with your customers, and you are letting them know that, hey, we are consistently working on your requirement, fulfilling it, and you're connecting back through review, connecting back with delivery. Okay, and that gives you ample of time to continue to showcase that what you have delivered, whether it is getting into right direction or not. With the continuous connection with your customer, you get to see that, and your customer can't say that at any point of time that is not going as per their requirement, because you have such so many checkpoints and touch points with your customer, that they are always knowing that this iteration is following the plan which has been agreed upon. And the last one says that once an appropriate length is found, be it 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week, initially itself with the consultation of whom? Consultation of customer. Okay, if it is found, it typically stays the same. So if you start with the sprint to be 2 weeks, uh, can it change now in sprint towards the 3 weeks? Hello, the question to all of you. If sprint 1 is of 1 week, will there be a chance sprint 2 will vary towards 2, sprint 3 will vary towards the 3 weeks, and sprint 4 will vary towards 4 weeks? What do you think?
I think
Yes,
it may
sir.
vary.
Normally, it will
Yeah,
remain the same.
Yes, sir.
Yes, no. So once it is decided what it will remain what it is. Okay. Once it is decided, it is going to be the same. Okay. In very rare scenario, depending upon how much time is remaining, even customer is knowing towards the end of the project. Okay. So every 2 weeks you have work. The last sprint does not have the much role. Say, for example, you decide that the last sprint entire delivery has happened. The last sprint is just for the support. You may agree to extend the support. You may agree to squeeze the support. So the support can go for 1 week. If it had been for 4 weeks of delivery, the support can be of 2 weeks as well. So that will become the part of sprint. So once it decided that what it is going to be, it will usually remains the same. Is it clear to all of you? It does
I
not
have a
vary.
question, sir.
Yeah, go
Sir,
ahead.
if we happen to finish the sprint a bit early, so is there any possibility that they go to the sprint 2 on an earlier time, or we stick to the timeline throughout the project? Like, okay, this sprint 2 will start only on the particular start date which has
Okay.
been planned.
So good question. So generally it does not happen. If it happens at all, that showcase the inability and low capability of the product owner, the planning team. Generally it doesn't happen because in such cases, generally product owner does not want to sound unstructured and of less knowledge, that he has not done well planning or something like that. So generally it is not experience. But if at all it is experience, definitely depends upon the product owner. If he has some good space of the time, so he can reutilize in some inviting all the stakeholders into the backlog grooming. When we are talking about backlog grooming, it means that project is directly not getting started, but a reanalysis will happen of the upcoming upcoming backlog items that is going to be worked upon in the upcoming sprint. That is going to be the part of the sprint planning. They analyze it well, that okay, so any complex user story, because when requirements are broken down to the smaller pieces, and what you are and we are referring to sprint backlog, that will usually become the user story, where the clarity is there, that what all the features at end you are going to achieve. So if it is complex, can they will work together, can we further break it down? Okay, is there more complexity is there? So such time utilization will happen. Okay, and but generally it doesn't happen, Reshma, if I'll need to answer it. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Any other question, guys? If not, we'll move towards the more in depth and more in detail. Okay, so let me quickly reshare my.
Gaurav, let me know when to continue.
Okay, sure, Prerna. So let me bring the slide in front of you. Just give a second. All right, so once appropriate length is found, that will remain same. So let's understand more in detail when it comes to definition and all and structure. I want someone to read the first paragraph for me, please.
Sprint planning is an event in the Scrum framework where the team determines the product backlog items they will work on during that sprint and discusses their initial plan for completing those product backlog items.
Yeah. So in a some simple manner, in the Scrum framework, and this will be sprint planning itself will be event, and that's the reason it is called what, everyone? the first ceremony. What it will be called as everyone? Sprint
First
planning.
ceremony.
First
Yes.
ceremony.
First ceremony. The good thing is that here entire team meets. No one is excused. Okay, everyone will meet together, discuss together that what exactly they are going to produce, and here product backlog items, few product backlog items based on priority will be taken into the country consideration, and whole idea is discuss, make it understandable and make it deliverables. Okay, so that's the whole idea behind this, and that becomes the part of initial planning. And I want someone to read the second paragraph for me, please.
Teams may find it helpful to establish a sprint goal and use that as the basis by which they determine which product backlog items they work on during that sprint.
Okay, as I said that it is self-organized team. Do you remember last time we spoke about self-organized team?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we will spend more time knowing about self-organized team. So because it is self-organized team, they themselves come together, they themselves develop the insight, okay, individual team member, that what all item they can finish, okay, what all those items are there, they can easily contribute. It is not like a name calling, like hey, Alex, you work on this. Hey, Nigo, you work on this. Hey, Tom, you work on this. Something like that. It doesn't. It is not going to happen because it is not hierarchical. Team. It's self-organized team. Everyone is appears as a leader, so they have liberty to nominate themselves for any sprint item, any sprint goal, or any backlog item with when it is reforming towards becoming the sprint goal. So it always consider as the highest priority item, highest weighted priority first. Okay, the highest weighted item first. So when I will abbreviate, it will become what? The highest weighted item first, highest weighted item first. So THWIF, THWIF, you need to remember the highest weighted item first is the first priority, THWIF. Okay, do you all remember that now? THWIF, the highest weighted item first.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So remember
Yes.
this abbreviation THWIF, more used into the Scrum, more utilized into the larger sprint THWIF. Okay, so that you need to remember. So I want someone to read the third paragraph for me, please.
The purpose of the sprint planning is to define what can be delivered in the sprint and how that work will be achieved. Sprint planning is done in a collaboration with the whole Scrum team. The product owner described the objective or goal of the sprint and what backlog items contribute to that goal.
Okay, so it's a quite a self-explanatory. Okay, goal, the bigger goal, okay, is broken down the smaller goal. So, and how it gets broken down into the smaller goal, you will see, foresee the what will be the outcome. You will foresee already, the visualization will happen. So how will you reach to that destined goal? So for that, what should have been done just before achieving that goal, and before achieving that goal, what goal would have been achieved just before that? You do a kind of a reverse planning, and then you agree, at this time I need to finish this minimum. Okay, in coming few days I need to finish this minimum. So there are ways and methods you agree upon the what you need to immediately deliver, and that becomes the product, that becomes the sprint goal, that becomes the output of the any sprint planning meeting, where you get to see the what. So if you'll get to see the what, then you get to see the how. If you get to see the how, then you need to also get to see the who. Okay, so we're looking at all of them. I want someone to read the first Two bullet point for me, please.
The sprint planning typically involves the entire team. A product owner identifies the candidate product backlog item and their relative priorities, as well as processes a sprint goal.
Okay, so it says proposes a sprint goal. Okay, so sprint planning involves the entire team, as I said earlier. No one is excused. Okay, no one is excused. And first product owner, so he identifies excuse me. So it's the product owner who invites the entire product backlog items. Okay, and he identifies THWIF, the what is the highest weighted item first to be delivered, and based on this priority he brings the readiness toward the sprint goal. So that's what the second bullet point is. I want someone to read the third bullet point for me, everyone. Anyone?
The team members determine how many of the product backlog items they forecast. They'll be able to complete and determine how they will deliver those product backlog items.
Yeah, now how is very, very important. What all tools will be involved? So everything, other artifacts are involved that will be decided in the sprint planning meeting. So how will you foresee whether you can get to have more items, less items? So sometimes it all gets released and revealed based on what the estimation goes behind. Who gives the estimation? As the team member give their own estimation. So every team member's estimation get calculated together, and at the end you decide, product owner decide how much time one feature is taking, one backlog item is taking to get developed. Okay, so who defines who gathers all those backlog items? Of course, initially in the product backlog, product owner, then in the sprint goal. Together the team defines this, together the team prioritize it. I want someone to read the fourth bullet point for me.
A Scrum Master or coach typically facilitates sprint planning in order to ensure that the discussion is effective and that there is agreement to the sprint goal and that the appropriate product backlog items are included in the sprint backlog.
Yeah, thank you so much for reading this out. Now, team is when involved. What is team's responsibility? What is product owner's responsibility? It is going to be the Scrum Master. Okay, he's also known as facilitator. I mean, the sprint coach and the guide and the the main servant leader or the main situational leader. Sometimes it is called. So he makes sure that it goes very smoothly. Then he facilitates all the ceremonies and even the sprint planning meeting. He makes sure that it remains the effective. Okay, and as per agreement, backlog items are coming up as a sprint goal. Okay, it should not going any time misaligned with the project goal. He is always top of everything. So it's his job to facilitate seamlessly with the very core objective, make sure that every Scrum guidelines are followed, and accordingly, because the Scrum guidelines followed in Agile, it makes it more effective and makes the project fast achievable. Okay, so when we are talking about fast achievable, we need to see that where does sprint planning take place. So I want someone to read the first bullet point for me. Anyone? We are 24.
A good location for sprint planning is the team room, so that you have access to all the information about your product backlog and you can reference and update any information radiators you may use.
Yeah. So when we are talking about good room, a good location, it means that all the teamwear can be accommodated whose responsibility it will be to check that where all the team members are available. So whether they need the conferencing room or something like that, or they are coming from the different part of the um, globe. So the whole idea is that the information flowing in that room remains very much constructive without any disturbance, and all the references remain the part of that room, which can be for when we are talking about that. So you need to, as a scrum master, you need to see if minutes of meeting are taken, that can be updated online. If it is taking in the word processing system, the devices, the laptops can be connected, or the PC can be connected inside, the conference room can be connected inside. If it is getting updated, the meeting updates or plannings or some action items based on the sprint planning meeting are getting updated into some tool like word processing. Either it could be the word processing software like MS Word or Google Docs, or is it getting updated towards the Confluence of Atlassian. So Confluence is the name of the product, like Jira, for updating the tickets. The Confluence will be updating the more detail about every single ticket or the requirement, you may call it. So such accesses are there or not, every single thing, who will make sure? Scrum Master will make sure are able to, everyone is able to access there, or whoever is required is able to access. Are you able to understand whatever just now I said? Imagine, as you are a Scrum Master, sprint planning meeting is going to start. Product owner will be coming. All other team member will be coming. But you are making sure in the room, sufficient chairs are there, whiteboards are there, conferencing tools are there, Zoom or whatever the Google Meets or what other softwares can be accessed. Everyone can come connect on that tool from their screen share rights is there required. That conferencing tool is video conferencing tool like Zoom or Google Meet or GoToMeeting or all different other tool, whatever you are choosing or you have decided pre-decided, is enabling your screen share, and there all those necessary software, be it Azure DevOps, Jira, or user story or use case document or any another document, or meeting updating tool, or the Confluence or Jira, any other things can be accessed from those things. So everything you have to make sure before the meeting starts is going to be very, very smooth to transition into one task to another task, so that at the moment, at the point of execution, it never becomes the bottleneck. Is it clear as a future Scrum Master, everyone? Say
Yes,
yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Anyone
Yes,
who
sir.
is not clear?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for loud yes. So I want someone to read the second bullet point for me, please.
If your team is distributed, sprint planning represents a good opportunity to gather everyone together so that your planning discussions can be more effective and to reinforce the person-to-person connections of the team.
Yeah, so I just read about the people, if they are distributed globally, then also they can participate into that, and it should appear as this is the opportunity, because uh, when you enter into the room, say for example, I'm just asking you to giving you some example, and it is the already 1 hour passed. Say for example, it is already 1 hour passed, and someone enters into the room, and now he has enters in the room, and now I'm giving you the action item. You have to do these all things. You tell me, the person who is sitting in the room, will it will be quite easy for them to complete the work, or who just entered into the room and looking at the action item or listening to the action item or task I'm asking you to do, he will do more efficiently? The person who entered just now, or person or people who were before, since the inception, since the start of the meeting, who will do the task more effectively? The one who is just knowing the action item and who has the context already.
The start of the
Who
meeting.
has the
Has the
context already?
Yeah, the people who know the background, who has already the references. The person who just now entered, he will have no idea. So you will present in a way that everyone get involved, and that becomes the opportunity for them, because then only they can participate, then only they can make it happen, and it will come connection. And this is the opportunity to develop the interpersonal skill and develop the connection between person to person, so that person to person connection help them to accomplish the project item itself. Okay, because wherever some doubts are there, business analysts are there, are some unread or somewhere, what you call, uh, ununderstood concept or designs are there. Developers are there, how they have developed, they know where can the error be. Testers are there to identify them, so tester and developer can collaborate. So every team member can collaborate and bring the best output, best delivery out of it. Okay, so yeah, I want someone to read the first line for me.
Sprint planning occurs on the first day of the new sprint.
Yeah, so it should be very clear. The very first day, the first sprint planning meeting has to happen. So every one of you, future leaders, future Scrum Master, make sure that happens before the sprint commence. Okay, the very first day will get dedicated towards it, depending upon how much hours you will spend upon it. So we will be more discussing into details. I think we had covered in the past. Okay, depending upon the length you are going to spend time onto it. I want someone to read the second bullet point also.
The event should
Go
the
ahead.
event should occur after the sprint review and retrospective from the previous sprint, so that any output from those discussions can be considered when planning for the sprint. It does not have to occur immediately after those other two events. You'll find it's best placed to a higher priority on scheduling sprint planning when the entire team is available.
Okay, so thank you so much for reading this out. So if it is second sprint planning meeting is going to happen, so of course before that you will have the sprint review with the customer might have reviewed it. Okay, and you will take a note of what was the customer's recommendation, so that you will take a note. Scrum Master's responsibility will be that it will be retained as information, and before the next sprint start, he makes sure the learning session had happened, where team have come together, reflected upon what went well, what did not go well, any improvement you could have done. So thereby you come up with the action item. If you would have done this, it might have appeared as is. Okay, or as this. So means you have developed some learning, and those learning, if applied for the next sprint, you make sure in the next sprint planning meeting it has been catered, it has been adopted, and it has been addressed to refine the next sprint goal. With me so far? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and make sure you are not rushing to not rushing to accommodate this learning in the next sprint planning meeting. You have enough and ample of time to do these activity. You have enough of time to accommodate these into the next sprint planning meeting. So there is always space between sprint 1 and sprint 2, and thereby sprint planning gives you more relaxed time when we are planning. I want someone to read the third bullet point.
You may find that it's best to have a standing consistent time for sprint planning, so that your team can keep that time slot clear from other engagements.
Okay, give me a second, everyone. Yeah, so yes, it says that standing consistent time for sprint planning. So consistent time, when we are talking, of course it will be there, because if it is sprint planning meeting for 4 weeks, sprint is for 4 weeks, accordingly once sprint planning meeting time is allocated, if it is going to be for 4 hours or 8 hours, it will always be, and you have to utilize these time for in a way that every team member, when they are contributing their hours, it has to be effective in a way, because every single person 8 hours or 4 star are getting involved into the sprint planning meeting. If it is team of 5, then together, you know, 40 hours have gone inside if it is going to be the going to be a full day sprint planning meeting for 4 weeks. So that you have to be very much be sure that you are bringing it in a very effective manner, and it has been already communicated with every team member. So what is going to be the duration of it? If it is good, I want Prerna, if you want, you can take the next slide. Let me know if you are there and if you can speak.
Yeah, Gaurav.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, over to you. Do you want to take this or should I continue with this?
Yes, I'm continuing. Give me a second. Yeah. So, as you all are aware, we are going through very deep in this sprint planning and Scrum ceremonies. Some of the checklist or important pointers to remember when we are conducting these meetings. So the first point is, what are the checklists for Scrum Master? Okay, so we'll go line by line. Can someone read out these 5 points for me for Scrum Master checklist?
Scrum Master, video conference, screen share and/or polygon access information set up and shared. Schedule meeting space, prepare and publish agenda, check calendars for company holidays, training, events, travel and employee time off. For tactile artifacts, replenish supplies of markers, post list, 3x5 cards, pens, pins, etc.
Thank you for reading it out. So here, as you can see, all the required things for conducting a meeting has to be done by Scrum Master. So what it is, as simple as booking a conference room, setting up, ensuring that the projector is working fine, or the stationery is available in the, everything has to be checked and ensure that it is working fine by the Scrum Master. Okay, that's one of the major. Give me a second. Yes. Oh. Second point is schedule meeting. Okay, scheduling meeting space means as per the number of people to be invited for the meeting. Have these conferences rooms or any other location confirmed and booked. You might feel why this is so important, but in bigger organizations, having the conference room as per the availability of your meeting is a tough job because there's so many meetings going on. So that is one. In case of video conferencing, ensuring that everybody is given the provided link, like how we share for our sessions. So that has to be done by the Scrum Master. Along with that, what would be the agenda of the meeting? That means when you are gathering so many people or when you are having this meeting, what needs to be discussed or what is the agenda? Everybody understands agenda of the meeting, right? Anybody has any doubt about what is agenda? Yes, no? Guys?
Yes, we know.
Yeah,
Yes.
everybody
Yes.
understands when we
Yes.
say agenda of the meeting. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. And then, yeah, this is also one of the very important thing. Check calendars of the company already. See, basically what happens when we work on international, when we work in the MNCs, wherein your teams are geographically in different locations, different continents. So that time you really have to check on the calendars. Like for example, you have per se schedule a meeting during a December season. Fine. In India, that would be okay. But then when we realize it's a holiday season or it's a Christmas season, most of the people from Europe or from America or from other regions, they are on long leaves. It's like a little soothing or a relaxed period. So people go on leaves. That's the family time. This is one example why you have to check the holidays for calendars, because in bigger organizations you have teams, there can be a holiday in Australia, or that they might be working in India and vice versa. So Scrum Master has to be very vigilant and very, I would say, particular about when and how to set the meeting. So checking calendars, checking holidays, employee vacations, that all has to be taken care of. And yes, all the I would say artifacts, all the things required for a meeting, starting with a marker pen and projector and proper stationery available. Everything has to be taken care. So you might feel that, oh, why all these things are given to Scrum Master? Because any ceremony or any meeting is very crucial for Scrum Master and for everyone. So that is why Scrum Master has given this responsibility, or he himself checks that all these things is taken care of. Okay, so this is basically information. So there is nothing, no new concept as such. So these are the responsibilities or checklists that a person has to do in every meeting. So in case you have doubt, we can take after the next 2 pointers. Okay. Yeah. Can someone read out the product owner part? Preferably a different person who read earlier.
A product owner set the goal priority, ensure backlog item. Candidates are ready according to the team's definition or ready, if a definition of ready exists for the team. Make sure the skills and capabilities of team members are known and are generally aligned with the needs of the backlog item candidates for the sprint.
Yes. So now here you realize product owner is so closely associated with the backlog item. So as we also earlier discussed that product owner is the only authorized person to touch, update, and maintain product backlog. In short, he is the only person who can add, update, in case delete work items from the product backlog. And according to the so he needs to understand that whatever is been ready has to be completely done. Okay, here it is mentioned as definition of ready or definition of done. That means whatever we are saying that it has been completed, the work has to be completed end to end. There should not be anything pending. There should not be anything that is still needs to be developed or worked upon. So when we say definition of done or definition of ready, means whatever the team has worked upon, that can be showcased or delivered to the customer. So that is also in a way responsibility or a checklist, that when team is assuring that they have completed the work, that has to be the case. Okay, many a times what happens, people just to buy time or just to just to share the status, they said, okay, we have completed. But no, it has to be completed to such a level that, in case you have to review or showcase it to the third party, customer, stakeholder, it has to be ready. And that responsibility kind of falls on product owner. And next point is, yes, it's very important. We have already discussed that Scrum team comprises of all the team members who are very highly skilled in their skill set. They're very highly experienced. They are the kind of the best of their lot, or best in their work. So such people, such members are available in your team, and then their skill set has to be aligned. Aligned means there has to be a match between those people's skill set and the what the work we are doing. So basically, it's like, when we want to order a cake, we'll call a bakery, right? We won't call, I don't know, maybe you won't call a pizza place, right? You will call a bakery. So it's as simple as that. When you want to cross check, or you want to ensure that whatever requirements customer has given, whatever updates customer has given that needs to be worked upon, your team members have that particular skill to work on the same. Yeah, makes sense. Anybody has any confusion or anything in this? Yes? No, then we can.
No, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much. We can go to the last point. Development team. Only one point.
Development team plans the work to be done and determines how much it will take. Update the team's definition of done as needed and make sure it is easy to reference during the meeting.
Absolutely right. So update the team's definition of done as needed. I was just mentioning this in the earlier point also. Definition of done means whatever work you're doing, that has to be completely done, completely, I would say, achieve your target or achieve your delivery. Okay, so that is also called as DOD. So a team member or development team has to ensure that when they confirm, or when they commit on something that they have done, it has to be completely done. There should not be any going back. And also the same thing they have to share or present during the meeting as per the customer's demand or request. See why this is important. Many a times, this is my personal experience too. When we have some meetings or reviews or any discussions with the customer. Yeah, so they tend to sometimes ask can we see it, or can we have a look at it, how it will look, or how can we see how the data is flowing, can we see how the functionality is working. So to be very honest, it's like a curveball in the discussion. They might suddenly ask you to present it or review it. It might be on the test server, it might be on the WIP mode, but then they would like to see it. So that is why when you commit, or when you say that something is done, it has to be done, because that your word is considered as good as a promise, or as good as a commitment. So and this really happens, okay, in my career experience as a manager, as a project or portfolio manager. Many a times customers have asked that can we have a look at the developed functionality, or they're just curious, they're just curious to see how it looks, how it works, how well things are going. And I think that's I would say decent enough for them to ask, because ultimately you're going to deliver to them and it's going to be a quick delivery. So better you finish your work and come to the meeting, or whatever you have determined or committed to work to finish in that sprint, that has to be complete. Yeah, so this is basically checklist from Scrum Master, product owner, and development team point of view. Yeah, if you don't have any doubts, we can go to the next slide. Yeah,
Ma'am, Prerna
yeah.
ma'am.
Go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
so in I have seen many videos. So when I will go for Scrum Master interview, so they ask for definition of done. So can you please guide me that how I can explain what is the meaning of definition of done, because it is all about the developer team, right? There
Prerna,
is
can I talk about it?
Yeah, Gaurav, go ahead,
Okay,
please. Yeah,
so
thank you.
definition of done, I mean, whoever is asking, there is a complete dedicated day and time is designed in the coming days. So better if you can wait to get the whole idea about it, because this is a complete, full day topic. When we are talking about full day topic, it means going to take the another one session. So just wait few more days, and that PPT is also going to come maybe in next 1 week, 1 or 2
Yes,
weeks.
yes. I was about
Okay.
to say that.
If you
So
can't
yeah,
wait, if you can't wait, ask separately for the recording. We will give it to you, and you can refer to that, because I don't think it is good advice to give 1.5 hour now again for that. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Can you do that, Rachna?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you so
yeah.
much.
So
So yeah,
Rachana,
back to you.
basically, I was also gonna say that we have a dedicated session on that, wherein we go through in every minute detail possible for explaining. That's why I was just giving you a brief understanding of that while reading it out. So don't worry. And so by the way, it's a very good question. It's one of the question that does gets asked in the interview. That's why we have a dedicated session. So thank you for this question. We will come back to it in upcoming lectures. Yeah.
Thank you,
If
ma'am.
nobody has any doubts, we can go to the next slide. Yeah. Yes. So, you know what? You might feel that why we have such images, they look so cartoon-like, or they look so school, college level-like. But trust me, visual representation of any topics is very, very essential. Now, here, if you can see, we have tried to represent every team members, and trust me, when you look at these figures or pictures, or whatever you call them, you get a better idea. Now here, if you see in input, can you see the product backlog is like a checklist, it's like a list of items, yeah, in red color. Can you see?
Yes.
Yeah. So see, there are two people. Okay, forget the gender. We are not going gender wise here, but just imagine that two people. One it looks little older on the left side, who is like with the glasses and all. So they just try to show maybe his more experience, or he's older in overall his career wise. Just assuming that, so that person would be product owner because he is one of the seniors member in the group. And then on the right side, we can assume that the scrum master, because these are the only one people assigned in entire scrum. So that's why let's go ahead with that. So scrum master and uh, product owner are standing, but then always remember, product owner has the whole and sole responsibility and authority to update and access product backlog. Okay. Now, as Gaurav has mentioned, capacity and velocity is also mentioned as per the input. So we need to check that do we have the required capacity and velocity of our team members, that will they be able to complete it, or will they be in a position to deliver accordingly. Then current project status. Okay, so where do we stand as of now? Is it the first sprint? Is a fresh start? Are we into in between sprints? And what is the status? Do we have any additional backlog apart from the regular backlog? Are we on track? Are we delayed? Everything. Whatever can be the status that we have to mention. So that is the input. So in input, what it goes, or what is your team's capacity, velocity, that you have to know. What is the product backlog? That in simple words, what is the work items that needs to be worked upon? And then what is the current status? So if it is a sprint 0 or sprint 1, that means you're starting from scratch for the project. But if it is an in-between sprint, and then whatever status is, you are on track, or you are delayed, or you are, or you are just going fine, or whatever, WIP, that you have to mention. Here, if you see sprint planning, we just discussed. So basically, see, all the people along with the scrum master, product owner, that variety of people with all different kind of hair, that is the development team, showcasing all the gender as well as skill, I would say different level of skills available in our development team. So there can be testers, developers, BAs, analysts, or architect, anything and everything. And how do they do that? So basically, they all discuss, communicate, and come up with the plan. So yeah. So what did so here if you see, they have in the first picture they also have that box which shows the current status, and then uh, they all discuss what is the current status, how are we gonna work, sorry, what is the current status, where we stand, and then in the next second point, how are we planning to achieve it. Okay, so mostly how part is assigning the work to them. Okay, what is how much work, and how we assign the work, and who will work on what, and ultimately this all leads to sprint goal and sprint backlog. Okay, sprint goal means goal, particular goal that we have decided that needs to be achieved for that sprint. So it can be a functionality, it can be developing certain web pages for any website, it can be working on a mobile application that needs to be developed in particular modules or particular way. So that is your sprint goal, and your sprint backlog would be whatever is remaining in this sprint that might be as per the customer's the requirement change or priority change. Sometimes as we mentioned earlier, as per the market trends, as per the seasons, like if there is a holiday season, then the customer might ask you to add something to their application. Maybe add a page showing, if it is a shopping website, then they might want you to have a banner stating, okay, 30 to 50% off on these brands, or on these products, come and shop. Anything, any promotional event or anything that they want to highlight, that can come up. So all these things will also be there, so we need to highlight on that. So when this important part comes, you just can't say the customer, okay, I'll work on that. But then how would you manage if some additional work comes? Then you give less priority as per the customer, a customer's request to other work, and then that work will go to your sprint backlog because it was not to be worked upon as confirmed by the customer. Okay, this happens. This is a very real life scenario. So yeah, if we don't have any doubts, we can go to the next slide, please. Yeah, go.
So before we move to the next slide, I have a quick question. So what do you think towards the sprint goal, when achieved, the customer's eyebrows should rise or should be meet? And imagine yourself as a customer. Eyebrow rise or eyebrows meet? I mean, it will more narrowed.
Rise.
Rise comes with more
Rise.
surprises. Okay, so no surprise towards the end of the sprint. Okay, no unexpected thing should happen. So always remember that it should be more focused what you have, and focus means that your eyebrows are meeting each other. It means you are going more narrowed. Okay, so why I asked this question, because I really want you to be more focused, because this is right now going towards theory more. Because we are yet to come towards the practical. So always pay attention and focus that what is going to come to you, that could be the questions in your interview as well. So a proper attention is needed when we are referring to the theory. So only this part of thing I just wanted to share, Prerna. So over to you on this slide. Yeah.
Yeah, so Gaurav, do you want me to take this, or we can go the next slide because it will be in continuation?
Okay, fine.
Yeah?
So yes, I totally understand. So thank you so much. So I think as good time we pitched in, because it's been almost more than an hour, and I believe it's more theory. So always requires your more attention, and more attention means you need to remain awake. And I don't want you to fall asleep. And we can take a pause over here. So guys, what we are going to do, we are going to meet tomorrow. And whatever you have learned so far. Okay, Prutha has some question. Yes, Prutha.
Yes, sir. Actually, I wanted to show you my resume regarding that.
Okay, so has it been approved by Devji?
Yes, sir. It's
Okay.
already approved by Dev, sir.
Okay, so no problem. What you can do is that, why you want to show the resume, because you need a quick feedback onto that. Is that right,
Yes,
Prutha?
sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So what you can do, you can just forward those resume to me and Prerna. Both will review them in our time and will give you feedback based on that. And in case at all
Okay, sir.
needed, we will come back together, and we will just connect over the Zoom again separately, if
Sure,
at all
sir.
required. Generally, it never gets required, all of you. It never gets required. The moment your resume gets approved by Devji, just WhatsApp me and Prerna, and we'll give you timely feedback onto that. But whenever you are expecting anything, wait for 48 hours for the response, and just not for resume, anywhere in the project as well. Okay, and but continue to follow up too. So that that should be the point. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. So we have come to the end of this session today. What you are going to do is that go back over the WhatsApp group, and today is the crucial day. I want the 100% presentation from you. So whoever have attended today, whoever have participated today, your learning, you are going to just jot down over the WhatsApp group that what has been your key learning today, where you need to be more attentive, more focused. Your learning, me and Prerna personally going to review them, and so your responses will be catering towards your presence as well. Means whoever were awake and really read and really participate, your summary will add a lot of value to your own learning. So go ahead, do that right now. And additionally, what I have done, I have already followed 20 minutes of video on velocity and capacity. Take your time to go through them later, but first just drop your summary. Okay, and then we are good. Personally, we will be reviewing them. Thank you so much, everyone, for connectivity. Talk to you again tomorrow. Recording will be provided for this as well within next 24 hours. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye. Take care. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
all.
sir. Good night. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good night. Bye.
Thank you.